What's up, Grit family? I have a very exciting video today. It's gonna be all about recovery, meditation, how to get your mind and body right and really reach that peak max relaxation that everyone is looking for. So we are here at Be Still Float Studio in Jacksonville, Florida, right here in the heart of Riverside. Inside is Miss Gina, the owner of this facility. We're gonna walk you through all the benefits of sensory deprivation, some of the different facilities she has here as well, and really just talk about the science behind why this is something every person needs to be doing. Let's go on inside. Let's go in. Hey Gina.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming out.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate you. So this is the master behind everything here at Be Still, Miss Gina. Gina, say hello to the people.
Hey, thanks for coming out. I'm excited to show you the space.
We are very excited. I was just giving them a little rundown outside of what you do here and why I think it's super important for everyone to try. So we're going to dive into a little bit about why everything here works and how it works. But do you want to go ahead and give us a little tour of the studio before we get started?
Absolutely. And as we get started, everything we've done in the studio is very intentional. As you see, we live in Florida. Although it's dreary out right now, it's typically bright and hot. Once you enter these doors, you get lots of subliminal signals to just slow down, take a deep breath. We started this space to help people with stress, pain, and anxiety. So all of the services that we bring in here are alternatives to that. All of our services begin and end in this space.
Ooh.
It's the heart of the space. You come on in, you have a seat, you get to hear what other people are going through. They're coming in out of a session, they're getting ready to go into another one, and it kind of just sets you at ease. We have 4 float rooms. They're all on this side of the space. We have a tank style, and we have an open float room, and I'll show you that shortly. When people come in, they're looking to get out of their heads. They're looking to help with pain. They're looking to help with inflammation, just really do things for their bodies that they can't really do on their own. For our members, we do brio chair massages before they go into their floats. Some of them feel like they get more out of it when they do it afterwards. We also have a really cool new feature called a Roxiva Light. It's brain entrainment. It's a way to get you out of your head and get into a really deep meditative state. We have a sound healing table. Sound and vibration are really powerful. When you use binaural beats combined with the vibrations, it can really help get you out of your head. And it can help rearrange your brainwave activity, and it helps you create theta brainwave activity before you go into the float tank. So a lot of our vets, people with PTSD, will do sound healing before going into the tank so that they're already calm and in a relaxed state when they get in the water. We have a full spectrum infrared sauna, which is very spacious. If you come on your own, there's enough space for you to do some really deep stretches, some downward dogs. Great for taking care of your muscles. We're getting ready to go into the winter. Holidays, traveling, lots of people. There's a detox program that has been clinically proven to help keep your immune system at bay from influenza. No testing on COVID yet, but the detox system is great. There's a weight loss program. You burn 500 to 600 calories in 30 minutes. There's cardio work. If you've got issues with your circulatory system, it's a really good way to get a cardio workout without having to do a regular workout. Pain relief. Fabulous for pain relief. As we talk about pain relief, there's something else that's really cool that's using different wavelengths of light. This is our MLS laser. It's the strongest laser out there on the market. And I was telling you that I was going to show you, you can't see the light with the naked eye, but for plantar fasciitis, for any type of soft tissue issues, it will really bring down that inflammation. Tendinitis, anything like that, it's fantastic. People who are doing the laser will say that they feel heat. Some people will say it feels like you put biofreeze on them. Some people will say that it's tingling or someone is blowing on them. That is all the body's reaction. It's a 30-minute session. Oftentimes we recommend doing it repeatedly until the pain goes away, and then you're on maintenance mode. We actually have a lot of pain clinics that refer to us because a session with the laser is very similar to getting a cortisone injection. There's a limit to how many cortisone injections you can get for pain a year. Once you reach your limit, this is another great option. And then we do traditional massage, and we're able to do couples massages as well.
I'm sure you're an avid floater, but what about any of the other equipment that you have, like the infrared sauna, the machine we were just looking at as well?
Yep. I have plantar fasciitis. I've got 2 bone spurs in both feet. I'm walking around barefoot. I don't have any issues with it. And the minute I start to feel something, I do a laser session and I'm good for another 6 to 8 months. I love using the sauna for detox, especially if I'm traveling. The Roxiva light, if I'm going through a stressful period, is a great way to just get into a really deep meditative state. So I use all of them. It's kind of like, they're my toys.
Yeah.
So rooms 1 to 3 are what we call cabin styles. All of our float tanks are licensed for 2 people. People with really high anxiety are not going to try this by themselves. So if they can come with somebody who they trust, then they're willing to try it. And then after their first float, they feel comfortable floating by themselves. So come on in. This is the float suite. It's private. When we leave, you lock the door. We have a tray with everything that you need: towels, earplugs, A&D ointment, makeup wipes. We've got your shampoo, body wash, conditioner, because you're going to take 2 showers before your float. And this is the tank. Check that out. It's 6 feet by 8 feet and very peaceful. Once you get in the tank, the exterior lights turn off on their own, and then you get to float with this beautiful starry ceiling. Those are our cabins. Rooms 1 to 3 are cabins. This, in my opinion, is the crown jewel of our space. After visiting a center in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I redesigned the whole layout so that we could have this room, because at some point I want to take part in research. This is modeled after Dr. Feinstein's research lab at LIBOR. As you can see, you're not enclosed at all. Again, you take your shower, you carefully get in, the lights go out, and you get settled. If you're worried about claustrophobia, the entire room is meant to be sensory deprivation. It's soundproof, it's lightproof. I was actually floating here one day and there was a huge car accident at the intersection of Lomex and Riverside, which is right outside here. I didn't hear a thing. Once you get settled and if you feel comfortable, you can turn out the lights. It gets really dark. You can't see your hand in front of your face. But that's where the magic happens. When you're in true darkness, that's when your brain does a reset. That's where your cortisol levels, your other stress hormone levels do a reset. That's why people will say they sleep through the night. They don't wake up at 4 o'clock, which is when your stress hormones peak. It's great for jet lag. It's fabulous for pain. I have 3 kids. They are bombarded with so much information on an hourly basis. It's insane. And anxiety is an epidemic. Kids who have everything are like, oh, I'm so stressed. Or you can, even without them telling you that they have anxiety, look at their nails. Nail biting is a clear sign of anxiety. Look at their behavior. They may not be able to articulate it and say they have got anxiety, but if you look at how they're behaving, they're telling you. They've got stomach aches when they're going into school. They don't want to go to whatever practice. All of a sudden something hurts and you know that nothing is really hurting. So that's why I started it, because there's no escape anymore. Very few people turn off their Wi-Fi. Very few people live without their phones. December 1st, I take off my watch. I'm like, I'm going to try to be present. There's enough stress out there. I don't need to be reminded. All of my notifications are turned off on my watch and my phone, because it's the minute you get that ding, you've got that fight or flight response going off. And you're depositing more stress hormone levels into this like imaginary piggy bank that lives in your body. And it peaks at 3 or 4 in the morning. So there's so many people who are like, I cannot sleep through the night. I just pop open 3, 4 in the morning. It's because they're so stressed.
And although I don't float as much as I would like to, I think what it really does for me is that opportunity to cut everything out and also really be present.
Yep.
You know, like I was just explaining to Zach, who was filming with us today, the first 10 minutes are probably the hardest.
Yep.
But then once you get comfortable with, I'm not leaving,
Yep.
I'm just going to take deep breaths, I'm here in this moment, I'm going to just embrace this.
Yep.
That, I think, is one of the biggest things you have, because it is very hard for people to just be present.
Gosh, totally. I've had people say I'm more patient after I float. I was doing an event for a Parkinson's run, and their son came up to the booth, and he's like, oh my gosh, my dad laughs so much more with us when he floats. Like, you just are in that present moment. And you don't have a lot of time, but if you built it into your schedule, we can all schedule 1 hour a month. If you have a lot of pain, you really want to come in once a week until the pain is taken care of, and then you can go into maintenance mode. When I'm going to travel, I know it's going to be stressful coming back, so I always make sure I've got a float ready, scheduled, so that I'm forced to come in and do that for myself. We have a lot of business owners who just have so much on their plates. They are managing families, they're managing their employees, their business, they've got roadblocks, so much going on. When they float, they solve so many problems. Before COVID, we had a lot of artists who would come in with their supplies and after floating would come in here and just sketch.
Keep the high going, that flow state.
Yep.
And one more question I want to ask you about being here in Jacksonville. This is the biggest small town ever,
Yep.
right, as people always say. I want to ask you, what motivated you when you first launched the business in 2019? What made you think that this is something the community really needed?
Goes back to what I was saying. I was noticing that my anxiety was getting greater, that my kids were having more anxiety, that their friends were having more anxiety, that my friends, I'm like, what is going on? There's really no reason for it. And I think it's just this bombardment of information. And truth be told, there's only one float place in town at the time, and I didn't care for it. It wasn't the right fit for me, and it wasn't the type of place where I felt comfortable sending my kids to. So I did a business case, and I'm like, oh, I think we could do this. And then I was like, oh, we'll never find a place. And then we found the building, and then everything just started to fall into place. It was almost like it was meant to be.
Go ahead and tell us, if people want to give floating a try, they want to come to your studio, how can they find you, get in touch with you and your team, and try it out?
Yeah, totally. So you can definitely follow us on social media at BeStillJax. Our website is bestillfloat.com. We've got a page there for specials, and then definitely follow us on social media because we're launching lots of really great specials for the holiday season.
All right, that's a wrap for us here today. Thank you, Grip family, for tuning in. Thank you so much for having us.
Can't wait to have you come float.
This has been a blast, sharing the passion for health, wellness, and really trying to impact our Jacksonville community. So come over here to Be Still Float Studio, float with them. Make sure if you like this video or if you enjoyed it, share it with someone you think it would resonate with or impact. As always, we appreciate you tuning in.